most people in crypto tend to have a completely polar idea of how to actually go ahead and extract the most amount of money out of the cryptocurrency market. They see 2025 as the be-all and end-all, and chances are you probably do too. Matter of fact, you're probably someone who has a very narrow idea of how much actual returns we can possibly make, because right now, guys, two factors play into this. The market is going to explode more than you possibly know in 2025. And second of all, right now, believe it or not, we're talking about extremely cheap prices. Yes, even for those projects that are at, $3, $4, $5 billion market caps. Now, today, guys, we are going to explore just how exponential our returns really are. But the most important thing, and at least what I like to do here, is give a visual explanation for all of you. So I personally am a visual learner. I don't think I learn the best from just punching numbers into a screen or hearing someone say something. I actually have to see the charts myself. And I'm guessing a lot of you are as well. So bear with me. I am going to show you how we turn these four projects, HBAR, QNT, XLM, and XDC, yes, $1,000 invested in each, overall 4K, into 4.4 or $4.2 million. I am not joking around. Let's get straight into it, okay? But first, I want to explain something very important to you guys. The universal thing about all four of these altcoins is, now, the reason why I just haven't chosen four random-ass altcoins is for a specific reason, okay? I'm not picking, let's just say, meme coins or mid-caps that just everyone knows and loves. I'm picking these strategically, again, for four reasons. The first is, they are all large caps except for, of course, maybe XDC, which means they are generally safer than meme coins or smaller cap projects. Okay, that's a given. Number two, they are all established so-called businesses that are more than just a cryptocurrency. I don't see any of these as cryptocurrencies. I see them as actual businesses. I'm investing in a business here, not so much a cryptocurrency by traditional means. Number three, they are all dominating their respective fields in both Web 2 and Web 3. Web 2 allows for this much slower but exponential growth when it does come time for that network effect to play out. Number four, they will only get more powerful and explosive with the more demand, or again, network effects. Therefore, we can expect much higher returns from the 2026 to 2028 bear market. So pretty much where we are right now to 2030. Okay, so these projects, people say utility. Yes, they are utility projects, but I believe they are tackling markets that require, or at least are involved with much deeper, traditional companies, okay, these enterprises, and therefore they will really take into effect once we start to see more companies joining them, and then more bigger companies want to join them, okay? So that I believe will play out in the long term. Therefore, again, I'm going to show you just how crazy this can really get here. Number five, they will stand the test of time to and beyond 2030, which makes the following statements valid, okay? So when I say following statements, I mean showing you this chart, okay? So in the first example, we have Stellar XLM, okay? Now, I don't want you guys skipping ahead of each of these projects individually here, because you really need to see the difference in the gains possibly made in this case, okay? So with each of these, I'm gonna take you through three scenarios. Like, I wouldn't even say best case, but I'm gonna say like higher better case to average case to like possibly the worst case. You're going to see just how crazy and early we are. I'm not talking early in the revolution here. I'm talking early in the chance of making generational life-changing wealth for, your many generations to come, okay? So XLM, we're going to have the same sort of chart here for all of these, okay? It's all going to look the same, but the values are going to change depending on the project, all right? So 1K in, what does that look like? Well, today, okay, at roughly 12 cents, we buy, again, all of these projects, we're buying 1,000 at today's prices, which right now for XLM, it's 8,300 tokens. So let's say the max it goes to in 2025 is $2, which I think it can definitely go well and truly over. Well, if we bought, let's just say we didn't time a top perfectly, which no one can. Instead of, selling it all at $2, let's say we sold all of it at $1.50. Again, I think it's very, very reasonable. That's pretty much just over a 10x, okay? It's a 13x. So again, very reasonable here. And let's just say we cash out completely, which is what you really should do, not financial advice. That's what I've been teaching over on the channel for a long time here. And you'd probably get about $12,450, all right? And so what happens in 2025, or at least 2026 to 2028? Well, let's say the price goes up to 50 cents, all right? So that's the average price. Like right now, it's about 12 cents average. Let's say it shoots to the 50 cents. I think it'll be a lot less than that, but again, we're shooting for the worst case scenario here, okay? Well, of course, we want to save some money. So we save $2,450, so the odd amount, and we reinvest $10,000. So at this price and reinvesting $10,000, we can get 20,000 XLM tokens. Sweet. So in 2030, again, this plays into the principles I was just talking to you about. I get it. Some of you might be lost already. Some of you might be thinking to yourself, Kyron, why are you concerned with 2030? Guys, I am telling you, 2025, and let me just say right now, some of these projects are going to be a lot more than $12,500. XLM is by far the lowest possible ROI project on this list. It gets a lot more crazy, trust me, but we should be looking for 2030 here. 2025 is a catalyst. It is nothing but a leapfrog to 2030, which is when these projects, A, will be most definitely expanding the most. So you'll find that you can buy crappier, smaller, more speculative plays, but in 2026 to 2028, you want to be reinvesting in the projects that actually will benefit from network effects and so on come 2030. And again, it's 7 years away. If you can't wait 7 years, you've got some problems with you. I'm sorry. I get it. Some of you guys might be on the older side of things, and I can get it in that sense. Fair enough. 2025 might be that goal for you. But for most of us, come on now, 2030 is reasonable. Okay, so again, let's compound. So we're compounding here. We're selling, we're buying, and we're selling. We're compounding all of our returns. Again, $10,000. So over here, let's say the max goes to $20. Again, we can have this exponential growth for these projects at this time. No, not for all of them. I'm going to give you some more realistic numbers, as I said, but I think a 30x from 50 cents to the 2030 bull run is very logical for some of these projects. So let's just say over here it goes to $15. Right, sweet. We can cash out $300. So we've just turned $1,000 over a 7-year period, multiple steps, into $300K. Not bad, at 43x in total, right? So we're combining the multipliers made here and multipliers made here. You know, traditionally you say, oh, that's like a 3000x or a 300x, right? Well, yes, traditionally, but you do the two-step approach. You're not just buying and holding for the long term. You're buying, selling. It's simple. It's compounding, right? And so I've got a few more examples here. Running out of time, so I'm just going to run this through very, very quickly with you guys. But example 1 over here, we're going to just do a few things to make it even more realistic for a lot of you guys who are going to hate down below, okay? Let's say, again, we have the same variables, right? We have the 8,300 tokens, but instead of $1.50, we're going to get even worse. Again, keep in mind, this is still only a 13x over here, so I think it'll blow past that, but let's just go worst case, right? But let's just go middle case, right? $1.20, we cash it at this much. Again, we're going to hold true, and we're going to still reinvest, or at least save 2,450 and reinvest the remaining amount, okay? So we are still saving the same amount as before, even though we have less money, okay? And then we're going to also reduce the price over here as well. So we're reducing not only the price over here, we're also staying true to how much we are saving. Therefore, we are reinvesting even less, and therefore we're cashing out even less as well, if that makes sense. So we're getting even more diminished, like exponentially here, okay? 34x in total, 24x from this price over to this price, and what do we get? $180,000. That is fantastic. You're telling me 180x over 7 years? I think Warren Buffett would like scream and beg for that to happen to him, okay? Over here, let's get even worse. $1. So we're only 8xing. We have a cash out value of 8,300, so on and so forth. We're still saving the same 2,450. We're reinvesting the remaining $5,000, and we cash out at $93,000, a total of 24x. I'm going to say we can most definitely, in this case, cash out the 300K mark. But that's just XLM. Let's get freaky with it, right? Let's get crazy with it. What about HBAR? Well, this is the same situation I've played out multiple times on the channel here. I'm not going to waste your guys' time. You've seen that first example. Matter of fact, just in the interest of saving time on this video, I might leave the link to this down below with you guys so you can go ahead and have a look at all these things. But for those of you who want to run through the examples with me, let's just run through HBAR. So right now, same situation, we're putting in $1,000, we're getting 20,000 tokens. Let's say the max price goes to $2 in 2025. Now, understandably, that actually is on the very, very high side of things. So let's bring it back down to earth and say we're going to only 28x here. Let's say we get $28,000 out of this investment. Again, that's still quite good. You're 28xing, right? Well, again, this time, let's keep $3,000 over here. And we're going to reinvest 25K and then buy as much as we possibly can. Well, in this case, we have 100,000 tokens remaining. Okay, so what do we do then? Well, I think that in 2030, reasonably speaking, yeah, I think it's going to go to $12. That's, I think, very, very reasonable. That's a 48x from this price over to here. Fair enough. All right. So what do I think the price will go to in 2030? Well, I'd say max $15, but I'm going to say on the safe side, $12 over here for HBAR. And I think that is very, very reasonable. Again, that's only a 48x from 25 cents to $12. Okay. So again, these projects grow exponentially from this point. Right. What do we get? $1.2 million, a 76x in total overall. Remember, HBAR's market cap right now is about 1/2 or 1/3 of what XLM's is, okay? And we can again pull this down. What happens at $1? What's the outcome at $1? Sell an average over here, $20,000. We reinvest, again, we're sticking to the 3,000 theme, as you can see over here, just a little bit of XLM. We're trying to make sure we are saving the same, just to show you guys that, hey, you know, even though we're reinvesting less, as you can see, reinvesting 17K, reinvesting 11K, the outcomes are still insane. Look at this. Over here, the bottom example, 70 cents sell out on HBAR at a 14x, which I most definitely think it'll blow off. And we are still cashing out at 220K, even at $5 average sellout in 2030, guys. So I'm telling you right now, that is most definitely, you know, achievable. I think $1.2 million, because honestly, I do think it'll go, whether we don't hit $1.40 or not over here, I think we most definitely will blow past $12 in 2030. Just because of the insane potential. Now, what about Quant? Okay, well, Quant's an interesting one. Okay, so I'm saying on the max side of Quant can actually reach $5,000. Again, we're kind of throwing around some numbers here. I get it, right? In 2025, but realistically, I'm going to say $3,000 is most definitely on the cards, I think. So on the max side of it, we've got a 30x. Okay, so right now we have about 10 Quant tokens. And then, of course, we do the same situation, right? What happens if we reinvest at double the average price it is right now? It's $200 in, say, 2028. We buy 135 Quant tokens. What can we get at that? Let's just say it goes to $10,000. Again, a very realistic number, I believe, 1.35 million. Again, I think, you know, Quant's one of those examples where I strongly do believe it could go to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, only because we are talking about a project here integrating with many central banks. I believe it will be, you know, interconnecting many central banks and economies around the world, and it's being tested to do so, and it works. And also CBDCs will be coming online at this point as well, so it really will blow up, I believe, come 2030, 2035-ish. It might even, you know, remove itself from this following Bitcoin narrative. Nevertheless, 70x, 55x, 35x in total. As you can see, we are diminishing. So again, let's say worst case, we only 10x in 2025. Again, we saved the same amount in this example as well, like we have in the previous two. So originally we kept 3K, we've kept 3K, and again, we've kept 3K. So yes, we are reinvesting significantly less, actually $10,000 less every single time. And what happens? Guys, we still come out with $175,000 if it goes to 5K in 2030. Again, very reasonable sort of things. Again, I put 1.35. And last but definitely not least, Zinfin XDC. XDC is the lowest market cap out of all of these guys right now. So again, I think it's one to really look out for, honestly. It's a very underrated project over here. Interesting thing, it's pretty much the same price right now as HBAR, right? I've kind of rounded up a little bit here just to make sure that we were showing various examples of what this looks like. So at 6 cents, at $1,000, we can buy 16,700 XDC tokens. Now, because XDC has less supply than HBAR, and I do believe it could potentially blow up a lot faster, only because it is its primary player in its TradeFi market in the real world, so it definitely could be adopted, and there is a lot of ongoing bills and paperwork being passed to allow this to actually come into fruition much faster. I do think that we can see some more exponential returns here, okay? So $1.70 on the max sort of things. Again, let's say it goes to $3. Again, we get sloppy with it. We cash it at $1.70, 28x, not too bad if you ask me. Over here, right, 20 cents max. So you can see the difference, right? So what we're doing over here is we're averaging in, or at least buying in total at this point, 6 cents, $1,000 at 6 cents. Well, you can imagine how in the average in 2028, 3x up, which I don't even think it will be. I'll be fine with, I think, a 2x up, okay? So we are looking at possibly even a worst case situation here, in the sense that we are buying, yes, at higher prices, but the main goal, again, with all of these situations is we are accumulating the tokens, right? So here we have 16,700 tokens. And in this top example over here, if we 28x and we reinvest 25K and then keep the odd 3,390, the savings, right? We are still buying more tokens, okay? All people have to understand this. There's no point in you hodling. If you hodl, you are literally saying goodbye to potential gains. Compounding is the way. What would you rather have when you, say, sell out all your tokens at $11 in 2030? Would you rather have 125,000 tokens or 16,000 tokens? You'd rather 125. It doesn't matter how you accumulated that, because ultimately you are making that much tokens or accumulating that much tokens from the initial investment amount, okay? Just makes total sense, all right? So with the 125,000 tokens, again, on the high side of things, I think we can probably miss out on the $15, get in at $11. We're $1.375 million out in 2030. 83x overall. You guys understand the deal by now, of course. If we go down this list, you can, of course, see that the worst case, I believe, 80 cents, most definitely reasonable, just over a 10x, 13x over here. And over here, again, we are saving the same $3,390, just again to make sure none of you guys cry down below about, hey, he's saving less money, okay? So we're reinvesting $10,000 over here. In the worst situation, at $5 in 2030, we still profit 250K. Important thing to remember, guys, again, let me just reiterate this for everyone, okay? When we go down these charts here, we aren't just going down in the potential gains that we're making, okay? We're not just going down, okay, let's just say, $11 here, $8 here, $5 here. It's exponential because we are also reinvesting a lot less as well because we're saving the same amounts, all right? So you got to understand these three situations here, I think, just give you an idea of, hey, this is a two-step thing. This isn't a hold until 2030 and sell because you think you got it at a good price. This is, guys, we're extremely early. These are cheap prices right now. You can imagine, okay, $4,000. Let's say we went up to $10,000 or $20,000. You can see how this would just blow the hell up and really create generational wealth, okay? So again, 4K in, 2030 out. On the best side of things, again, best, I think that's actually reasonable. 4.2 million, mid case, 2 million, lowest case, 700 or $750,000. Insane. Yes, you can argue tax, but again, we're avoiding capital gains tax here. So really, you probably will be getting taxed on possibly about maybe 750K on the top case, worst case. Again, that would trickle down as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please share this with friends and family because a lot of people don't know this and we can all be winners in this game if we play it correctly. Thanks so much for watching. The 2 videos on your screen should hopefully suffice and I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.